My Lords, I wanted to speak in this debate because I have many concerns about military intervention in Syria and the pace at which these events were being considered. And I am glad that sanity has resumed and the timetable slowed. I do not have the depth of experience of many of those who have spoken, or indeed those who are yet to speak. But I do have a little understanding of the region, Iraq and Syria in particular. I visited Syria on a number of occasions and held talks with President Assad on several. I also spent some time in Iraq during the Second Iraq War, having been dispatched there 7 times during the conflict and spending over 3 months in that war zone. Let me say it is those experiences that have coloured any judgments that I hope your lordships will view what I say through that lens. If I've learned anything, apart from the horrors of war, it's that people can do unspeakable things to people. It's the desperation that conflict brings to the ordinary people. It's that loss of all hope. I fully understand and accept that the use of chemical weapons is a line crossed, and for that there must be consequences. But those consequences must be well thought through. They must be proportionate, and they must stand the judgment of history. We should never let those who use chemical weapons feel that they can go without international condemnation or military sanctions. However, we too must take military action only if it complies with international law and is evidence-based. That means sometimes having patience in the face of what seems like an open and shut case. It means waiting for weapons inspectors to fully report. It also means giving this House and the other place time to digest the legal and intelligence information before rushing to a vote. And it also means having some idea of what the answer to the question, what happens next? If we are to be able to make sense of the lessons of the war in Iraq, then we too must understand that mission creep is the enemy of the international community and the friend of chaos and fundamentalism. The fact that bombs can be launched at a safe distance, that military installations can be incinerated with minimal collateral damage, lulls governments into a false sense of security, that action can be taken with minimal effect on us. But, my lords, it's never where it ends. It's the journey only goes in one direction. So let me be clear. I don't support further military intervention over and above as a deterrent against further use of chemical weapons, and then and only then, provided it's proven with compelling evidence and it's part of an international alliance. And I also recognise there will be repercussions of those events. But the conflict is more than just the removal of a dictator. It has deeper religious roots, Sunni versus Shia, which is being played out all over the Middle East and more widely internationally. So we have to ask this question too. What happens when and if the Assad government is removed? What's left behind? From my experience, it's soldiers with guns but no paymaster. It's ammunition dumps unguarded. It's porous borders. It's foreign mercenaries. It's religious fanatics with kangaroo courts. And it's no one in control. So in addition to the limited military action being favoured by the government, we too should be concerned about the escalation of the mission, concerned for the men and women of our armed forces, concerned about who or what takes over, concerned, like Iraq, that we do not destroy the system needed post-conflict to help rebuild a nation. I know that history marches to its own tune, but we can learn from past mistakes. I fully understand that we need to stand by our red lines, but we should not move them. Our job in Parliament is to guard those lines from all those who will seek to draw us further into conflict where they cannot define success. My lords, I know that all roads probably lead to bloodshed and misery. Whatever we do, there is no easy resolution to what's happening in Syria or more widely in the Middle East. There is no military solution, and the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister should heed the lessons of the Iraq War. My Lords, this is one of the decisions where we are damned if we do, and we are damned if we don't. May I say finally to the noble Lord, the Leader of the House, I've listened to the list of things that this action is intended not to do. The same list as the Prime Minister gave in the other place. But that has not been the mood music being played by this government over the recent months. It is that mood music that frightens us all, and I believe it should be turned down.